guys, it's Ben Reed with Sourcewater, and I'm really excited to show you guys today exactly how to perform your first water source search. And I'm going to teach you how to use the searching function for disposal as well. But we're going to focus on the source water side of the search. Now, for this demonstration, I'm going to show you how to log in. Obviously, you guys probably know how to do that. If you haven't already signed up and you're viewing this video, then go ahead and click sign up here. It'll take you less than a minute, and you'll get an activation email in your inbox, and you can go ahead and proceed from there. Same thing with if you log in here and you realize, I don't have something to log in, I don't have a user ID or a password, go ahead and click create a new account, and we'll get you in. Same thing with I forgot my password. You can always just request the information from this point right here, or you can send me a simple message right here and say new conversation and say, hey Ben, I'm having trouble, right? And I'll get back to you as quickly as possible with a message. Now, and just so you know, that does come right to my phone. You probably heard something in the background there. That was my phone vibrating and saying, hey, somebody's messaged me. So you always have a direct line of contact to me. Now, let's pretend you've already done all that and you are logging in. So you log into our system and you're going to be taken directly to our search homepage. Now, you'll see here, I'm just going to give you a very quick tour so you know what you're looking at. It's pretty simple, not too much going on, other than the fact that you have these three buttons up top. You have a menu here, which we're going to ignore for the time being, and then you have a map with some search options. So let's start at the top, and I'm going to work down to the search options. First of all, one thing we pride ourselves on at Sourcewater is being very responsive to our users and our clients. So feel free to message or call me at any point. You can get help very quickly by either clicking here on the help button and clicking chat, and you'll see that will pop open up a conversation with us, and specifically me. It actually, as I said, goes directly to my phone. Or you can just click on this little orange button down here, and you can say, I'm having trouble. So again, feel free to contact me at any time. Now we have the search button here. You don't actually have to click on this. The only reason you'd have to click on this search listings button is if you wanted to get back to this page, the search page, but it automatically logs you into this specific page. The second thing here is you can actually create a listing. As you probably all know, there are several types of information on the Sourcewater system. There is user listing created data, so meaning you just log into the system and you'll create a listing just like you would on Amazon or eBay. So for example, if you were selling a drum set on eBay, you'd go create a listing online and you would sell that product through that listing. We do the same thing with water assets. So if you have a source water source, or if you have a disposal well with extra capacity, or you have a treatment facility, or you're an operator that is willing to take somebody's water, you would go create a listing on our system. And you would do that through this button right here. And you can see when you get to this page, it gives you a pretty diverse set of options that are pretty obvious what you need to do. Obviously, if you have water for sale, you would click on this button, and it would take you through the process of creating a listing. Now, that's not why we're on this demonstration right now. I really want to focus on search listings. I will send you guys in a couple days a whole tutorial on how to create your own listing and how to get up on the system. Now, one thing to note here is all of this is free to you. The only time that we charge anything to anybody is if they want to advertise on our system. We're very much like Google in that we allow free listings. We allow people to search for free, and people can promote themselves or advertise on our site to show up higher in our search results. We only show 10 results at a time on any given page to give you the best possible options based upon various filters like pricing or location or trucking price or availability or water quality. There's different filters you can run, and I'll jump into that in a second. But just know that if you do want to advertise with us, again, send me a message through our little messaging system right here on our site and say, hey Ben, I'm really interested in promoting myself, and I can get you started. Now, back to the water search. What we have here is you can see there's a pin, a big old pin right here in Philadelphia. I'm actually visiting family, so I live in Houston. So any shout out to anybody living in Houston, feel free to reach out to me. I'd love to grab lunch or jump on a quick call to make an introduction. And I'm many times in Midland as well. Now, what you'll notice is what I first want to do is say, okay, I'm searching for something in Midland. Now, for the reason you would do this, and again, you can see there's a drop down here. You can pick whatever option works for you, and you'll see that the map automatically pins in Midland. Now, there's several scenarios that I can imagine somebody would be searching for water. You might be a landowner who who wants to see what water sources are around them and see what pricing options are in the market so that they can competitively price themselves in the market. And so you would go ahead and say, okay, this is my property, this is the location. You could actually put your physical address in here, and you could say, I want to search in this area. Now, you might be here's another example. We have many completion engineers who have upcoming fracs or completions coming up in their neck of the woods, and they want to find out water sources 6 months in advance of the actual frac or the completion to source the water and get in touch with the right landowners and these water source owners. So they would go put the exact geo coordinates, the latitude and longitudes, or the GPS coordinates into our system in this little search box right here, and it will tell them the top 10 results for water based upon pricing or whatever filter they choose on the system. Now, again, there's many different scenarios. Of course, if you might be a contractor or a truck driver or somebody who owns a disposal company but also sources water. In this case, again, you would go do the same exact process I just explained. Choose the location. Now, again, we have several options on the drop down here. The drop down obviously allows you to choose disposal, treatment, and reuse as well. So if you, for example, have a lot of produced water, you have water you need to get rid of after a completion, then you would go ahead and search your disposal options. It's not just commercial disposal wells, although we do have all the commercial disposal wells live on our system in Texas right now. You can also search for reuse options. For example, Shell might be having a upcoming completion and they might need water. They're looking for water. Well, you could actually sell your used water, your produced water, to them instead of disposal. So that's a recycling option that's been very, very powerful, especially up in the Northeast in Pennsylvania, where Shell, for example, does a lot of trading of water with Chief. So you can search for those options using this drop-down disposal, treatment, and reuse. Of course, you can search for commercial disposal and standard water treatment facilities as well. Now, once you choose your options, we're going to focus on water. So we're going to go back to our water option. We're going to choose our location, which we've already done. And you can see we have several different options to the right here. You can choose the amount of water you want to search for. So if you have a need for, say, 1 million barrels of water for upcoming completion, you could say, I need at least this amount of water. What's out there that could give me that amount? Now, of course, I like to keep it wide open when I do the search because I want to see all my different options. As many of you know, you need to draw from multiple source points. You're not always going to find all of your water in one location or from one source, and you might need to find, say, 10 properties around a well and then have some transfer lines that come to a collection pit right next to the well pad and in the drill site. So, I always keep it wide open to see what my options are out there. You never know what you're going to find. Also, you might have a time restriction. So you might find that you need to have this done between, say, a certain date and an end date. So I might say, for example, if I click on this calendar, I need to start on the 15th and I need this to end, say, on the 23rd. Well, if that's the case, then obviously you don't want any type of water that's not available during those dates to show up on your listing, so you wouldn't you would put in that filter. Now, I'm going to leave it wide open again for this demonstration. Now, the second thing here is if you do, and I know I'm kind of skipping back and forth here, but this is important to cover, is that if you do choose disposal, treatment, and reuse, you'll notice that there's different options, and you can actually filter which options you want. So you can say, I don't want to see the reuse options, and I don't want to see the other options. I only want to see treatment and disposal. That's why we have these check boxes here. Again, I'm going to keep them clicked. And you'll also notice when I go to water and wastewater, these options gray out because they don't apply to this type of search. Finally, you can see this is the big button for more filters. And this is important if you really want to get super granular in your search. Let's say you have an upcoming completion, you've talked to the relevant experts on the subject, and they say, we need this very specific TDS, this very specific chemical type, and you want to filter down into those types of information. You will click on more filters. Now, you can see here, I'm going to get back to the search radius in a second, and we'll talk about that. But first, I want to say, you can see down here, there's different water types that you can choose. Now, for example, you might say, I only want to take clean brine, and I only want to take fresh water. Click those options, and then you can say, in addition, I want to ensure there's a water quality report, and I want specific types of chemicals and TDS levels for my water. So you say, for example, TDS, I want a min of this amount of TDS in my water in the maximum. Same thing for all the chemical types. We have quite a bit of chemicals listed here, so you can get very, very specific on what you are searching for. Again, you would just click on, for example, if you want to define your pH levels, you could click on this. It will have a little pop-up that will show up, and you can define your min and max pH levels. So again, we're not going to go too much further into that, but you can see that is an option for you. And so now, going back up top here, there's two things I want to address, which is the search radius as well as the listing owners. Now, the search radius is something that we've defined because some people really only want the top 10 results within a very tight geographic area. There might be a lot of water sources or a lot of disposal wells, and they want just us to help them find and basically be a decision engine for them to find the best possible deals in the market. So they would keep the search radius pretty tight here. Now, others might be in a more sparsely populated area where they need more information, so they would go ahead and click on this drop down and say, I need a 500-mile search radius. As you can see, it says selecting a large search radius may result in increased search time, which is true. The reason for this is just technological. We have to pull a lot of information from our system. When you do a larger search radius, there's over 120,000 sources in our system, so it will take longer to load. You can expect between 30 and 60-second load on a 500-mile search radius, whereas if you only chose, say, the 50 miles, then it would take around 8 to 10 seconds to load. It might be a little faster. So just be aware of that if you choose that option. Now, the second thing here is, let's say that you're a completion engineer and you have very specific disposal wells that you want to work with. You know your MSA providers or these approved vendors that you have. Obviously, you don't want to find a bunch of other listing results that don't apply to your scenario. In this case, you would choose only approved vendors. Now, one thing to note here is that you have to upload your approved vendor list into our system, which I'll cover into another video, another tutorial for you guys. But just know that that is an option. If you do want to do that now and you don't want to wait till the next video, come on Sourcewater, shoot me a message and say, Ben, I really got to upload these approved vendors and I got to get started immediately. And I'll run you through that on a call. So that's our approved vendor option. And now another thing that's important here is that we have two types of data in our system. We have user-generated data, the data that you guys create through the listings we discussed, and then also we have public data. Now we do this because we want to fill in the gaps where there is not user-created listings. So for example, we actually pull the TCEQ, the TWDB, the Railroad Commission, the Water Management Districts. We have a bunch of different public sources that have disparate pieces of information that is going to be very important to you and that's going to have really high quality content that you're going to want to search for. Now, as you guys know, searching on the Railroad Commission or the TCEQ, you might have to go 3 levels deep into a query to find the right information. It's kind of annoying and difficult, and the user interface kind of stinks. We've solved that problem. We put it all together into this aggregated public database of water that's free. It's still free for you guys. So just know that you can actually say, I only want to see user listings, or I want to see public data as well. That's the reason you have this little option to checkbox it or uncheck it. For example, if you are like, look, I only want people that are associated with this listing and that have created it themselves, then check this box. I'm going to leave it unchecked just to show you what the full search results look like. Now, once this is all done, you've chosen the type of search you want to do. You've chosen the search location. You've defined your volume and your start and end dates, and you've defined exactly your search radius, whether you want to search for public listings or user listings, and you've defined all your water quality types. You come to the bottom here. All right, guys, I had a couple seconds of technical difficulty there, so I had to refresh the page, but I'm back. And the thing that you're going to see here is that I've already repinned Midland. Let's pretend that you've already chosen all the filters you want, and you would go ahead and click search. You're going to see we're going to have the page loading right here. It can take, as I said, up between 7 seconds all the way up to 60 seconds, depending upon how wide your search radius is. Now, when you see the page load, this is showing you the actual search results, and you can see that you both have a map result as well as the listing results here, and they're in the correct order based upon the filter that you choose. Now you can see it automatically chooses closest user listings as the search criteria, but you might want to choose a different search criteria. So the question is, how do you do that? Well, you do that by clicking on this drop down, and you might say, hey, I want best deal. Now, best deal is defined as the combination of both the price of water and the price of the hauling to get the water to your location. So I've chose downtown Midland as the location where I'm trying to get the water to. And so it would be the combination of the hauling price and the water price to get that asset to me. Now, you might just want the best water price, or you might just want the best hauling price. You might want them separate, not just the best deal. And finally, you can obviously choose just closest based upon both public listings and user listings. It really is up to you, but the way you do this is, let's say I want the best water price. So this doesn't take into consideration the water hauling price. What you do is you choose that, and you're going to simply redo the search. So you can click search right here. And you'll see that after this loads, it's going to give you a different set of search results based upon this new filter. So again, now you can see here slightly different results, and you can see this is now the best water price. So I would actually click on this bubble. It's going to readjust for you, and you can see the water type, it's fresh water. The volume that's available is 2,400 barrels, and you can see the ask price, what they're asking for is 45 cents per barrel. The hauling rate, which we've defined based upon what you input for the hauling price calculator, I'll get to that in a second, is 69 cents per barrel, and your total rate combined between hauling and the ask price for the water is $1.14. Now, if I really like this option, I can go do more research on this. But before I do that, again, you can find the same information right here. This number 1, this key energy services, is actually the same thing right here. It's just in a list view versus a map view. And again, you can look through all your different options throughout here. Now, so let's say that I really did want to learn more. I can either click on learn more, I can click on this first listing, but we'll click up here for the sake of discussion. I'm going to click on learn more. Again, it's going to load. Now, you can see here it actually loads a page for the company, right? And so Key has not set up their company profile, which is fine. They can do that when they're ready. But for you, what this means is you can still see the same exact result, and you can say I can request information about this water source, or I can actually go ahead and buy it. Now, if you request information, it's going to go off and send information to us at Sourcewater and the company, or you can go buy it, and you can check out online. It's kind of like Amazon. So, for example, you can say exactly what you want the start date to be, the total volume, the price per barrel you're willing to pay, the min and the max. It automatically puts this information in for you based upon the listing, but you can go change this if you would like. And then finally, you can say I require a water quality test, or I require a report, whatever you require, and you can submit the offer. This is actually going to show up, and we'll cover when you go and create a listing if you are interested, how you would receive offers. Well, the offers come from this type of process where somebody would actually make an offer on your listing just by searching and coming to this page. So I'm going to back up here, and I'm going to go back to our search results. So give me 1 second. So we're back at the company page, and I'm going to go back one more, and we're going to go back to our search results for Midland. Now, the question you must be asking is, this is really simple, how do I add in the hauling price? So what you do is you click on the hauling price calculator, and you're going to have to put some simple information in. $65 an hour, for example, might be your hauling rate. You have to define your average truck capacity, the average unloading time in terms of minutes, and the average the loading times up here and the unloading times down here, and then the speed limit percentage as well. And so you can also calculate based upon round trips. So they might be starting at your location, going to the source, and coming back. Right now, we're just defining it as the pickup starts at the water source and it comes back to you. So you can go ahead and save this, and that will allow you to have your hauling price set up. And again, you're going to see it's going to be recalculating based upon the information that you set up. Now, that is really it. It's quite simple. Our system is made to be very user-friendly, and you'll be able to search for results. What you will notice, the last thing I'll say, is that it will show the top 10 results around you. And also I should mention that you should wonder why there's small water droplets here versus the big water droplets. The big water droplets are user-created listings. The small water droplets, they are actually public records, and you can see it says public record up in the top right-hand corner, so you know that it is in fact a public record. You may want to go ahead and make an offer on this, and that means that you're going to actually be submitting the same type of offer we just discussed. However, the information is going to come to Sourcewater directly, and we're going to go ahead and try to make contact with that water source for you. So that's how that works. Now, as you notice, just like in Google, we only show the top 10 results, and then you're going to have to go to the next page to see more results. So you can scroll to the bottom and you can say, okay, I want more results, and you click on number 2 or 3 or 4 or 5. But what we've seen is that most people will stick with the top 10 results because they want the best deals. And so that's it, guys. I hope this was helpful for you. I'm going to send you in a couple days an email with a video to show you exactly how to create a listing so you can show up in these results and so you can get your water sold. And that's going to be really critical for your business, especially with the oil market returning. So feel free to reach out with any questions. Let me know if this was clear, if you have any other confusion or issues with the system. But we hope this is valuable for you. It's completely free, and let me know if you need more help. Thanks, guys.